Suicide Squad! Finally! It feels like it's been forever since Batman vs Superman came out, and I I'll say this right now. I loved Batman vs Superman. Batman vs Superman might it at that time it was my favorite movie of 2016. And then Civil War came, it was a little bit better, but I still love that movie no matter what anybody said. I loved that movie. But there was a mixed reaction, and a lot of people, it was basically a war on war against the fans and the critics. Unless you were some diehard fans loved the movie, and because it was such of that good of a movie, and then others hated it like the critics. A lot of people hated it, but we have another situation there. But for me, my mentality is if you don't like the new DC cinematic universe, that kind of sucks for you because they're making a ton of money and they ain't stopping. Because Wonder Woman looks great and Justice League looks great, and I'm gonna say right off the bat, this is gonna be a not spoiler. This is gonna be a total spoilers review. I waited a little bit longer this time to get this one out because I wanted to talk full spoilers about this movie. And geez, this might be. I have to see it a couple more times. I've only seen it once. This might be my second favorite DC movie ever. It might surpass The Dark Knight for me. It might. If I like it enough. After I see it a couple more times, I might like it more than the Dark Knight. Right now, it's sitting at number 2, and that was held by Man of Steel for me. And I love this movie. I freaking enjoyed the hell out of myself with this movie. I cannot wait to see what else they're gonna do in the DC Cinematic Universe going forward. And I definitely loved that. I can't believe that DC actually did this. They rolled out their Guardians of the Galaxy third movie in, and yeah, you could compare this movie a lot to Guardians of the Galaxy. They even used one of their songs. Like, there was a lot of stuff in this movie that was such a great thing. Like, same thing like Guardians. They had an amazing soundtrack and they had an amazing score as well. And like all the characters, the way they introduced all the characters, I think my favorite shot going off when you first see Deadshot, the ripped right from the page. That was like the big nerd out moment for me. One of them at least was when he's standing there and he has his gun like this and he's hand out like that, and then he has all bullets and he has all the rain of bullets, and I was like, that's ripped. That is such an iconic shot. Like, yes, like that's when I knew that that I was gonna love this movie. And like all the characters, they really it made us care and love all of these characters from the get-go. Harley Quinn and Margot Robbie did an amazing job. I was so impressed. And to see what she was going to do in our first live action version of Harley, and not even that, our first live action Joker and Harley relationship as well. And Will Smith worried me because I didn't hope that he wasn't going to do the Will Smith thing and overpower the movie and want it to be his movie. But clearly this was an ensemble cast, and he definitely did take a seat back. Even though it might have been his movie and he probably was the main character, he didn't Will Smith it enough. That's what I was worried about. Another thing I was worried about is that they were going to make his character not more or less I was hoping they didn't heroize his character so much, because knowing Will Smith, he likes to be the hero, and they're all playing bad guys, and I didn't want any of the characters to feel like they were going from villain to hero. Like, I really didn't want them to downgrade from being awesome villains to being a hero in this movie, and they didn't. They really didn't. I was very pleased about that. All the characters, you had Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Killer Croc, Katana, Captain Boomerang. Jai Courtney was awesome in this movie, because this might be my favorite. I think it is my favorite Jai Courtney performance, and the best that I've seen him in a long time. I have not seen him do or really cared about a movie that much. Rick Flag was good. Amanda Waller was so good. Viola Davis was so good as Amanda Waller. And to be honest, I feel like that was the true villain of the movie. And talking about villains, Enchantress was supposedly the main big bad, and I love this movie to death. I love the soundtrack. I loved everything about this movie, except for the one thing is that I think Marvel really has a hard time with this, is their villains. And in a movie about DC villains, and this might be the reason why I love this movie so much, is because they have such great villains. DC has always been the better side of Marvel when they have such amazing villains. Look at Batman's entire rogues gallery. There is a villain for every single that, and they're all fleshed out and they're all amazing characters. Same thing with Superman. All these have amazing characters, but the main thing that they were saying is this is a movie about good versus evil. It's bad versus evil, and the evil part was Enchantress, and I really didn't really. It wasn't clicking for me like that, but it was okay because I still love the movie surrounding it, and I really, as long as I have a great time with it, I didn't really. I understand and I know that there was a very paper thin plot, and that none of it. But you know what? I liked it because it was simple and it made sense, and it made sense for me at least for what the Suicide Squad were going up to. Because you don't have a Justice League yet, and Superman. Spoiler: Superman just died, so you don't have anything else, so yeah, let's send in Task Force X. And that was one of my favorite parts when they start saying initiate Task Force X. Like, that's super freaking cool because, yeah, in Midway City there is something totally crazy going on, and Batman really doesn't ever leave the area of Gotham. So you have you so you have him not around, but you have the Suicide Squad to go take this out. And like I said, it like the whole I feel like the CGI was a little wonky on her brother at certain points. The rest of the CGI looked great, but I feel like at certain points it was a little wonky to me at least. But going down, I feel like the characters that I feel like I wanted more because I really liked their characters. But I feel like they were kind of a little bit wasted. Was Killer Croc? I really wanted a lot more from Killer Croc. I feel like especially like the second line he delivers, it's super hard to understand what he said, and I still don't understand what he said. Katana, I feel like Katana really needed. I feel like I really wish that she would have had more screen time as well. Let me think. Slipknot, that was like that, and let me think. Yeah, I really like this whole movie as a whole, but I'm not blind to see like, oh, I love this movie. Everything about it is perfect. No, it's not. It is a very paper thin plot, but I'm able to look past that when the movie and the characters surrounding it are amazing. Like, all of the actors did a tremendous job. I was very pleased with all of the actors. El Diablo was a really good character. He's not my favorite character, but I was very pleased to see, especially since they didn't roll out his origin in the beginning. They rolled it out like during the bar scene, and that was like really like it's like that's when you could tell these are bad guys, because we're always thinking like, because especially in the fights you like kind of feel bad because like, why aren't you doing anything? Help them fight the like 100-eyed guys, right? Help them fight. Then you get a great realism of why not to. And he's like you ever killed wife and children, man? And then Deadshot's like, no, I have. Like, that's a huge thing. It's like, and so like, just going over, but the thing I wanted to talk about last, the Joker. This is what my mentality was. I wanted Jack Nicholson was ripped straight from the page, the Joker that we got in the comics, and then Heath Ledger was basically the mob crime boss that we got in like the more realistic version of the Joker. But the thing that I was looking forward to, especially from the very first trailer, when he's like, "I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna hurt you, really bad." I was hoping for the crazy, scary version of the Joker that I would be terrified by. And to be honest, it looked awesome, but I know if I saw that in real life, I would be terrified. Like, that was what I wanted, and that's what I got. But granted, he was not in this movie a lot. He was there to serve for Harley's story, and it wasn't like the Suicide Squad against the Joker, but I kind of already assumed that going in. I just knew that he was going to be very central to Harley Quinn's plot. But the way they did it, and I also like that they didn't make the relationship between them wasn't as bad as it's depicted in some comics, and that they actually have a loving relationship, which I thought was really cool. But I don't know. Jared Leto, he has potential to be my favorite Joker, but I still don't know. I have to see it a couple more times, and then I'll need to see him in a full movie. He's in the same boat as Spider-Man is in Civil War. I loved it. It has the potential to be my favorite of all time, but I need to see another movie and I need to see more of him. And just like with the other Jokers, you only had one movie with them either, but they were the main villain of that movie. So like you got a whole movie to say that's my definitive Joker, and I feel like I need more of that. So that's my opinion on the Joker. I loved him. I loved his voice. It definitely sounded like Mark Hamill and Heath Ledger mixed in a little bit. I really, really love that, and I cannot wait for, please, Warner Brothers, the Arkham Asylum movie. Please, I want some Batman the Raid type action going down, getting to the Joker in Arkham Asylum. Please do it. Please, Warner Brothers. But that's it for that. I had to say for those are my general thoughts and my spoilerly thoughts about Suicide Squad. And if I was to rank this one, like I said, I need to see it a couple more times, but right now I'm gonna give this movie a 10 out of 10. I know I didn't do a review for for Batman vs Superman, but especially the Ultimate Edition, I gave that a 9.8 out of 10. I'm gonna give this movie a 10 out of 10. I love this movie. It has potential to be my favorite DC Comics movie of all time, and definitely has a great story of characters, a great group of characters, and a great soundtrack. That is an amazing soundtrack. The score as well was really good, and they did a lot of awesome, crazy comic book stuff in this movie, and I definitely cannot wait for more stories of the Suicide Squad and more of this. So there you go, Suicide Squad. David Ayer did a fantastic job. I cannot wait to see more stories, and I cannot wait to see Batman get Justice League together, because he told Amanda Waller, shut your team down. Shut your team down, or mine's going to take it down for you. That's freaking awesome. And so there you go. That's my review for Suicide Squad. Please stay tuned for more movie reviews and Lego minifigure showcases videos. I have currently two Lego Suicide Squad minifigures showcases up right now for you to go watch if you're into that type of thing. But there you go. That's my review.